Chapter 1. The Last Stand of Earth. The sky burned crimson as the last human warship, the Dawn's Resolve, plummeted toward the ruined surface of Earth. Commander Elias Vex gripped the controls, his knuckles white, his breath ragged. Around him, the bridge flickered with dying lights, the groans of metal echoing like a beast in its death throes. "They're still coming," Lieutenant Mara hissed, her fingers dancing over the cracked holoscreen. "The Xal'thari fleet, they're not stopping." Elias didn't need to look. He could feel them, the alien armada, a swarm of obsidian ships blotting out the stars. For 5 years humanity had fought, and for 5 years they had lost. Colony after colony, world after world, until only Earth remained. And now even that was crumbling. "Elias," Mara whispered. "The orbital defenses are gone. The capital's fallen. There's nothing left." He clenched his jaw. "Then we make our last stand here." A deafening explosion rocked the ship. The hull screamed. Then silence. Darkness. Chapter 2. Awakening in the Hive. Elias woke to the scent of something sickly sweet, like rotting fruit and burning metal. His body ached, his armor gone, replaced by strange silken bindings that pulsed faintly with bioluminescence. He was in a chamber, no, a nest. The walls were organic, veined with glowing blue tendrils, shifting like living flesh. And before him, seated upon a throne of bone and chitin, was her. The Xal'thari Queen. She was monstrously beautiful, towering, her obsidian carapace gleaming like polished stone, her 6 crimson eyes locked onto him. 2 curved mandibles twitched as she spoke, her voice a chorus of whispers. So, the rumors were true. Elias tried to move, but the bindings tightened. "What rumors?" The Queen leaned forward, her clawed fingers tracing the air as if savoring his fear. "You are the human legend. The one who has slain 100 of my warriors. The one they call the Ghost of Soul." Elias swallowed. He'd heard the title before, whispered among the ranks, a myth to keep hope alive. But he was no legend, just a soldier who refused to die. "Why am I alive?" he demanded. The Queen's laughter was like glass shattering. "Because you interest me, little ghost. And because I wish to know how a creature so fragile has caused me so much grief." Chapter 3. The Queen's Bargain. Days passed, or what felt like days. Time was different here, in the heart of the Xal'thari Hive. Elias was studied, tested. The Queen watched him with an unsettling fascination, her scientists dissecting his every move, his every thought. Then, one cycle, she came to him with an offer. "Serve me," she said. "Become my champion. In return, I will spare what remains of your kind." Elias laughed bitterly. "You've already won. Earth is yours." "Earth is dust," she agreed. "But not all humans are gone. Scattered colonies, hidden ships, survivors. I can call off the hunt. Or I can let my swarm finish what they started." His fists clenched. "You're lying." "Am I?" A hologram flickered to life, a transmission from a distant outpost. Human faces, terrified but alive. Elias's breath caught. The Queen smiled. "Choose, Ghost of Soul. Your pride, or your people." Chapter 4. The Trap. He agreed. For weeks, he fought in the Queen's arena, slaughtering her enemies. Rebel Xal'thari, captured warriors from rival hives. Each victory made her gaze upon him with something akin to hunger. But Elias had a plan. Mara was alive. Hidden in the ruins of Earth, she had been sending coded transmissions. The Dawn's Resolve wasn't the last ship. There was another, the Phoenix. And it carried humanity's last hope, a weapon capable of decimating the hive's core. All he needed was to get close enough to the Queen to activate the beacon. Chapter 5: The Legend's Gambit. The night of the final battle arrived. The Queen, pleased with his loyalty, granted him an honor, a private audience in her sanctum. "You have proven yourself, Ghost," she purred, circling him like a predator. "More than any of my own kin." Elias met her gaze. "I kept my word. Now keep yours." "Oh, I will," she murmured. "But first, I must know one thing." Her claw lashed out faster than thought, piercing his chest, not to kill but to feel, to taste his essence. And in that moment she saw his memories, his plan, the betrayal. Her eyes burned with fury. "You dare!" Elias grinned through the pain and slammed his fist into the beacon hidden in his palm. The signal flared. Somewhere far above the Phoenix opened fire. Chapter 6: The Fall of the Hive. The sanctum exploded. The Queen shrieked as the weapon's energy tore through the hive's core, the bioship convulsing like a dying beast. Elias stumbled, blood dripping from his wound, as the walls melted around him. "You fool!" the Queen snarled, her form flickering between rage and something else, pain. "You've doomed us both." Elias coughed, collapsing to his knees. "Worth it." The last thing he saw was her reaching for him, not to strike but to hold, as the world turned to fire. Epilogue: The legend lives. Mara's voice crackled over the comms. "Elias. Elias, do you copy?" Silence. A whisper carried on the solar winds. "Tell them the ghost of Soul got the last laugh." And somewhere in the ruins of the hive, a single shattered crown of chitin twitched. Final chapter: The legend's last breath. The world was fire. Elias gasped as the shockwave tore through the Queen's sanctum, the walls convulsing like a living thing in its death throes. The air itself burned, thick with the acrid stench of melting chitin and smoldering flesh. He could no longer feel his legs, only the warm, sticky flow of blood from the wound where the Queen's claw had struck true. Across from him, the Xal'thari Queen writhed, her obsidian carapace splitting under the force of the Phoenix's orbital strike. Her 6 crimson eyes flickered with something Elias had never seen in them before. Pain. Not the rage of betrayal, not the cold calculation of a conqueror, but raw, unfiltered agony. "You!" she rasped, her voice no longer a chorus but a broken whisper. "You would die, just to spite me." Elias coughed, red spattering his lips. "Not spite." He dragged himself forward, inch by inch, his vision swimming. "Just keeping my word." The Queen let out a sound. Not a hiss, not a snarl, but something almost like a laugh. "Stubborn to the end." Another explosion rocked the chamber. The ceiling groaned, great chunks of biosteel crashing down around them. Elias knew he had seconds left, if that. His calm crackled weakly. Mara's voice, distant, desperate. "Elias. Elias, do you copy? The hive's core is destabilizing. We're reading a complete collapse. Get out of there." He didn't answer. There was no point. Instead, he reached for the Queen. She flinched or tried to. Her body was failing, her limbs locked in paralysis as the hive's neural web died around her. But when his fingers brushed her fractured carapace, she stilled. "Why?" she whispered. Elias smiled faintly. "Because legends don't run." Darkness. Epilogue: The Ghost's Echo. 3 cycles later the war ended. The Xal'thari Armada, bereft of their queen's will, fractured into infighting clans. The surviving human colonies, scattered and broken, began the long work of rebuilding. And on the ruined surface of earth, where the hive's carcass lay like a fallen god, a single figure walked among the ashes. Mara knelt, her fingers brushing a half-buried fragment of black chitin, once part of a crown. She had hoped foolishly for a body, for closure, but there was nothing. Just the wind, howling through the skeletal remains of a dead empire. Voice. Not in her ears, but in her mind. Faint. Distant. Tell them. She froze. Tell them the ghost of soul got the last laugh. And for the briefest moment, she could have sworn she heard laughter on the wind. Not cruel, not triumphant, but free. When she looked up, the sky was clear. The stars burned on. And somewhere, in the endless dark between them, a legend walked.